In today's video, we will be taking a look at the 7 craziest reactions of teenage criminal convicts on receiving their life sentences. From showing no remorse to laughing and joking with their attorneys, the reactions of these teen killers will leave you wondering how anyone could be so callous. So sit back, grab a cup of tea, and get ready to see the dark side of youth as we delve into the stories of these 7 dangerous kids. Before we get into the first topic, like and subscribe, or this innocent kid will get a life sentence. Without further ado, let's get into the video. 7. Roxana Sikorsky. This frightening incident took place in October 2014 when Roxana Sikorsky attempted to assault her sleeping sibling. Roxana, who was then 15 years old, was sentenced to 10 years in prison for planning to harm her family. Her parents plead for leniency, portraying her as an emotionally broken child due to past trauma from her adoption in Poland and manipulation by her 23-year-old lover. Her family hired an attorney to appeal, questioning her comprehension and aiming to challenge Michigan's rules on trying juveniles as adults. Roxana, upon hearing her sentence, began to cry and expressed remorse.
I would like to apologize to my family for not being the daughter they wished I would be. And I promise that I will get better, no matter what happens. And I will see Lucas and Angelica again. I'm sorry.
The defense argued that the psychological damage from her past, combined with external influences, led to the unfortunate turn of events. 6. Aiden von Grabo. In November 2017, 15-year-old Aiden von Grabo took the life of Michaela Grody by fatally stabbing her with a knife in her family's apartment. The neighborhood was shocked, and witnesses quickly identified him as the assailant. The district attorney pushed for him to be charged as an adult, resulting in serious charges. His defense tried an unusual tactic, blaming the acne medication Accutane for his actions due to its history of causing mental health issues. However, this defense didn't succeed, and von Grabo received a life sentence. Throughout the trial, he showed little regret for his actions during the trial, displaying more fear of his sentence than remorse for taking a life. 5. Gavin Ramsey. This tragic incident in Wadsworth, Ohio, shook the community to its core, and the police chief called it one of the worst he'd ever seen. In April 2018, Howard Leisure searched his 98-year-old aunt's home in Wadsworth, Ohio, hoping to find clues about her disappearance. Shockingly, he discovered her lifeless body underneath a pile of clothing in a closet. A young man named Ramsey was later found guilty of strangling her and was sentenced to life in prison. To the shock of many people, the murderer was only 17 years old. Ramsey testified that he had snuck into Margaret Douglas's house, had forced her onto the ground and strangled her to death. Ramsey then spent hours taking more videos and photographs of the corpse, including several of a sexual nature. Gavin Ramsey regretted it and said he could not explain what happened. "I'd take it back in a heartbeat if I could. I feel terrible for what I've done, and I will never do anything like that again. I constantly live in regret and shame."
I think about it all the time, and I would take it back in a heartbeat if I could. I feel terrible for what I've done, and I would never do anything like that. I'm so sorry for what I did. I constantly live in regret and shame because of it.
Nonetheless, he was found guilty but could not face the death penalty because he was under 18. Ramsey was sentenced to life without parole and is currently serving his sentence at Grafton Correctional Institution in Lorain County. 4. Antonio Barbeau and Nathan Pape. In 2012, Sheboygan Falls was shocked by the brutal murder of 78-year-old Barbara Olson, who was hacked and bludgeoned to death with a hatchet and hammer by her very own 13-year-old great-grandson and his best friend. During his testimony, Barbeau said that he attacked his grandmother with a hatchet, while his friend Nathan Pape attacked the woman with a hammer. Prosecutors said the two broke into Olson's home to rob her and then killed her. Barbeau testified that he and Pape each struck Olson 3 to 4 times during the attack. He reportedly told the court he tried to put his great-grandmother's body in a car trunk, but when he couldn't, he said he left Olson's body in the garage and covered it up with a blanket. Barbeau had pleaded no contest to first-degree intentional homicide in September 2012. Antonio Barbeau shamelessly argued that his sentence was cruel and unfair, but the appeals court firmly stood by its sentence and denied his appeal. He was only 13 at the time of the attack and was sentenced in a way that the only time he would be able to taste freedom again would be in his 50s. 3. Sierra Halseth. A teenage girl, Sierra Halseth, and her boyfriend Aaron Guerrero pleaded guilty to murder in the stabbing death of the girl's father, whose burnt body was found in his northwest Las Vegas home in April 2021. Sierra was 16 at the time, and Guerrero was 18. According to reports, 45-year-old Daniel Halseth was stabbed 70 times, and his body, which was burned from head to toe, had been stuffed in a sleeping bag before it was set on fire in his home's garage. After the murder, the teens stole Halseth's car but were arrested less than a week later in Salt Lake City while allegedly planning to flee to California. When investigators confiscated Sierra's phone, they found that the couple had recorded a video of themselves giggling and saying they had killed someone. In the shocking footage, Guerrero was seen saying, "Day 3 after murdering somebody," before Sierra replied, "Not to say that on camera." Guerrero said it was worth it while he tapped Sierra's cheek with an open palm, then put his hand around her throat. During the court hearing, both stood quietly and answered with a quick yes or no as District Judge Tiara Jones questioned them. The two pleaded guilty to all the counts they faced: murder with a deadly weapon, conspiracy to commit murder, conspiracy to commit robbery, and 4 counts of fraudulent use of a credit or debit card. Sierra reportedly showed no emotion and simply stared straight ahead upon hearing the verdict, leaving many to question whether she was truly remorseful for her actions. 2. Philip Chisholm. On the 22nd of October 2013, a 9th grader at Danvers High School, Massachusetts, known by the name Philip Chisholm, committed an unforgivable crime. At just 14 years of age, he murdered his 24-year-old math teacher, Colleen Ritzer. The reportedly cheerful Ritzer was known to go out of her way to assist her students with math and had asked Chisholm to remain in school after school hours. Little did she know that the fateful day in October was her very last. After school hours ended, Chisholm followed Ritzer into a school toilet. He then flung a box cutter, robbed, raped, and mercilessly murdered her. To cover it all up, he then rolled her body in a garbage can to the woods behind the school. Chisholm indeed had absolutely no guilt for his actions, as he was later seen going to town and even bought a movie ticket using Ritzer's credit card. In court, Philip Chisholm was finally convicted for the murder, aggravated rape, and armed robbery of his own schoolteacher, Colleen Ritzer. For some reason, he was given a chance to be tried as an adult, and he was sentenced to serve at least 40 years in prison on Feb 26, 2016. To the sentence to jail, Philip showed no emotion of remorse, regret, or even a response. He was completely emotionless, as if he hadn't done anything at all. 1. Damon Kemp. This is a really tragic incident where a 19-year-old, Damon Kemp, was accused of taking the lives of his teenage companions. Kemp, who was a former student at Bethune-Cookman University in Daytona Beach, shot and killed Trey Ingram and Jordan Payton on Deck 7, 2018. Daytona Beach police first encountered Kemp on December 7, 2018 at 1:51 a.m. when they responded to reports of a home invasion at the Jade apartment homes. Officers testified that Kemp said something about Ingraham. "I killed him. I killed Ace." The courtroom was tense, filled with tears and emotions from both the victims' families and Kemp's supporters. Kemp's behavior during the hearing was alarming. He stared down the judge and kept shouting over and over, "God, God, God, God," as he was wheeled in.
God! 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 God!
Trey's mother, Narissa Carter Young, sitting along with her family, held her hands over her ears. The 19-year-old was charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder, and the judge denied his bail due to substantial evidence against him. He was also charged with burglary, with assault armed in a separate incident at the same apartment complex. And that's a wrap for today's video. These 7 teenage convicts showed no mercy in their crimes and faced the consequences in court. May their stories serve as a reminder of the importance of prevention and rehabilitation to ensure a better future for our youth and society. These kids' reactions are nothing compared to these 5 insane courtroom moments of all time. Make sure you don't miss out.